Hey, what's up, guys? This is the season finale for season 3, so season 3, episode 10. Today we're talking about mileage and training.
Yeah.
So I know, Anthony has his D1 schedule for the summer, and Andrew's. You're just making your own training, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of just like going with the flow, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm just biking, running, lifting. I have time to do whatever, so
That's good.
I'll keep myself in shape.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with I guess the question of do you think higher mileage is better in general? Like,
It's a tough question because it's relative. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's relative per person. But I think it depends, I guess, the type of runner you want to be. So that means your goals. Do you want to run distance? Do you want to run mid-distance? And even what is distance then? Is it 1,500? Is it mile? Is it 5K, 10K, marathon?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all of these terms are relative within each other. So I guess what should we dissect first?
I think just like general, like I guess like basic high school distance runner, like they're doing, let's say they're doing 800, 1,600, 2 mile, and you're training
Okay.
for all of those because that's kind of what we all did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about kind of like our experience.
Because there's like the high school runner, and then there's the college runner, and
Yeah.
then there's like the elite runner, and you all need different things, and you also
There's also the hobby runner.
there's yeah.
You know what I mean?
hobby jogger.
And we can't
Hashtag
forget
me.
about them. You can't forget about the hobby runner. But I think there's a fine line between especially in high school, doing the right amount of mileage and doing too much mileage, because it's very easy and I think I've noticed this past like 2-3 years. I don't know, our whole high school career, I noticed this. It's very easy for high schoolers to start to feel burnt out.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who experienced burnout, I mean, not necessarily from just high mileage, but, from school and everything else, lack of sleep piling on, you really have to, I'd rather you run less miles as a high schooler than too many, because too many, you will plateau and you will be running, that's what I did. I got to a decent level, but I ran the same times for 2 years, because you kind of just burn yourself out.
Would you attribute that to high mileage at the start?
High mileage and lack of sleep, and just
Okay.
which they kind of go hand in hand. And I think in college, you can really, if you're really on top of your stuff, you could treat your body a lot better. That's what
I agree with that, and also just like not even like just in college, but like with like D1 programs especially, you're gonna have so many more resources to like keep yourself healthy. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like like in high school, like we had like a trainer or whatever, like they would help, and you could go to PT on your own time, on your own like dime, whatever. But like still, it's not the same as like having all those resources around you, and just being fully supported in that way, I guess. So I feel like I don't know, at least for you in college, it's gonna be a lot more sustainable, with all the resources around you and everything. So
It's funny that you say that, though, because you remember how our first in-person podcast, I told you guys that I was going to try to get up to 70.
yeah.
Did I tell you what I was going to do? Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm going to get up to 45.
Oh,
Yeah, I got the training plan finally, and by the end of the summer, I'm going to be at 45 miles a week.
Oh,
that's really
But-
interesting.
But,
honestly.
we don't have a uniform cross-country team, so I think, I don't know, I think the plan is, get in shape for the summer. You know what I mean? Just get in shape.
Right.
Develop a basic base. And then
Because you don't need to go crazy because you don't
Exactly.
have an official cross country.
exactly.
season.
But then that also comes into play. It's like how much mileage is too much mileage, and then you have to look at the goals, the time frame. You
Yeah.
have to look at everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sustain like if your base training could be 3 weeks or it could be 2 months. Like,
Yeah.
So you really have, like, for you, it's gonna be 2 months, like probably, like it's gonna be long.
Yeah, it's gonna
Because
it's
you're
gonna be
preparing
a long
for
building
winter
period.
right
Right.
now, right? You're
Um,
kind of just. Are you gonna have a break actually? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think I honestly that's going to be so much. As I think I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but I think that's just going to be so much better for you because like think about it, like normally like for 3 seasons, right? You're like building a base and then like peaking for like a few races, right? But
Yeah.
like for you, it's going to be like you're going to have so much time to really discover like what training works for you, like building a really long base phase and like not like peaking at all like during the fall. Like maybe like yeah, for some races like you'll be in really good shape, but like you're not going to be at like maybe the top notch of your game, and you're going to save a lot of like your potential and like your energy on track, which is again like what I think you're really focused on. So I think that's just it's gonna be really good for you, honestly. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you run in winter. That's gonna be interesting.
I do here. Let's
let's transition back.
Yeah, we got to transition back.
Yes.
It's easy to go off topic, but I think because there's so many factors that play into mileage. Have you guys heard the rule? It's like no matter how long of a week you're running, you structure your week. Easy runs, normal runs, harder runs, whatever. But the long run should be 20% of your weekly mileage.
Yep.
So if you're running 50 miles a week, you should do a 10-mile long run, right?
Yeah.
And in the same respect, if you're running 40 miles a week, I don't know what's the math on that.
If you're running 4 miles a week, you want 20%. That's like, I don't know, dude.
Like 8 miles.
Yeah.
8 around.
Yeah.
So, like, it's important to to follow those kind of rules because, if you, let's say you're running 40 miles a week, you go out do a 14-mile long run. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, that's
gonna get injured.
It's just unnecessary. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I also think like, I mean, let's just talk. I think we should break it down so that because this
it's a little more
conversation
organized.
can get
Yeah.
a little bit muddled because it's very situational. I think we talk about high schoolers, then college runners, then we don't really need to talk about elite runners because like we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about maybe hobby runners or something like that because I've had a little bit of experience.
Okay.
Training hobby runners.
Yeah.
But
I think okay. So just to start with high schoolers, like you were already saying, like I think it's a very it's better to do low mileage rather than high mileage because like one like you don't have the resources of a D1 team, like you're like stressed with like applying to college and school and all that, and like it's not as big a priority for some people to like to like run fast and to like take care of your body as much. I feel like even though like it is for us, but like for some people maybe it's not. And like when you're coaching a whole team, like maybe it's better to undersell mileage and like sure like still like have killer workouts, like have those tough days, but like when it comes to like really killing your body with a lot of miles, like I don't think it's really necessary in high school at all.
I think it's quality over quantity.
Yeah,
for sure. You need to. I also don't think you need to be running 7 days a week necessarily in high school. I think you can get away with a cross training day or even an off day if you really need it. Because let's be honest, like
also we're young too. Like our joints are just still developing and everything. And like it's still like it's a very like transitional phase, like literally just like physically for a lot of people.
When you're a senior in high school and you're an experienced runner,
right,
I think off days maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe.
But like think about it, 9th, 10th grade, 9th, like 10th, still growing a lot. Like
you have to, you really have to be careful, especially at those younger ages, because you feel like you can handle more.
Right.
Because you're.
I know. We did. We always felt like we could handle more.
But you really have to like, because I see it with Brian too, and I'm glad he has a little bit of restraint. With, with like his mileage and however he's pushing himself, but like. You could feel like you could do more, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should, because your body can just crap out. And
can I add on to that, actually? Yeah. I was when I was looking through schools, I was talking to the Elon coach, and one thing that he said was, sometimes runners' ambition is a little bit too much. And I think for high schoolers, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really important to be able to, like, take a step back, realize, you know what, today might be a good day to hop on the bike. Go for a swim or play video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a good day to do that.
And I think that's partly because also like, because I know in high school, like the younger you are, like the way more idealistic you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you always think like, oh, you're going to run in college, you're going to do this, do that. And I think just like having those dreams and having those ideas, like sometimes like, again, like you said, like your ambition can outweigh like what you're really capable of. And, it's just like chasing that dream kind of mentality,
In the same respect, though, because without that ambition...
Oh, no, I totally agree. There's a very fine line. That's what I'm saying. There's a very fine line as to, like, chasing your dream, but also, like, maybe, like, go, like, in the context of what we're talking about, like, going overboard and, like, overtraining and, like, not necessarily overtraining, but just, like, doing things that your body might not be, like... capable of necessarily handling, like in terms of mileage.
I think you need to be like a very wise runner, because like personally, I'm not even at the point to know like when I'm pushing too hard,
right?
because you really have to know your body.
It's
So,
hard.
like,
Yeah, it's hard.
I think it's also important to know that like you're gonna fuck up. Like when you're in high school, like you will push yourself too hard or push yourself too easy, but you have to be dedicated to finding that balance. And I think that's really what high school's for. And it's really easy to get caught up in like, I need to run D1. I need to get 70 miles in, because you see these guys like Nico Young like a year ago, and all these crazy guys that are doing 60 miles a week during track, and they're running 3:59 for the mile. You're like, maybe I should do
High
that,
school running has literally never been bet. Like we are living through literally one of the
Golden
most like
age
the
right
literally
now.
golden age of high school
is
athletics. It's crazy.
crazy. You think people are like blood doping.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not,
crazy.
but they're just insane.
Realistically, though, all those great high school runners, there's a handful of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not everyone is doing that. But, those guys that handful of guys, I'm sure they are doing that 60-mile-a-week thing.
But they built to that.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's also going to be interesting to see where they go in college.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee some of them are going to do great. Maybe run 350 in the mile, or like 146, 800.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the equivalent time, right? But some of them might also do the exact opposite. Start to go in the direction of running 410 because their body's just done.
Yeah.
And
Like burnout, as you said,
yeah.
over like a longer period of time though,
Mhm.
instead of just seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also kind of. I mean, I know not everyone can cross train. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not everyone's got a bike. Not everyone is too fond of swimming. You know, I mean, I've tried to get you to swim for a while.
Swimming's hard, guys. Like, please, as I said, highly recommended. I need to get into it, but it's hard. It's
I'm
hard.
starting to swim once my pool opens.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm dreading the day.
Yeah.
But it's like it's those things. They're important, but it's nerve wracking. Going to a gym with a pool, getting in the pool by yourself. Like I wasn't able to do that the first time I went to a pool. It was with a Coach Lamb, Lightning Warriors.
Yeah.
And then now you develop that confidence. You kind of learn how to do it, and with that comes learning your body. So that's kind of the most important thing for high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in high school, it obviously depends on the person, but I think hovering, if you're like a pretty solid runner, like you have experience, you're like 11th or 12th grade, and you're used to running long runs and stuff and all whatever. I think like 35 miles during season is a pretty realistic
For
amount
track.
to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
for track. Cross country,
Maybe 40, 45.
maybe 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, you really don't go above that. I
Yeah.
think that's like a realistic amount. But then again, that's different for everyone.
Yeah.
If you are just new to running, you should maybe be running 15 miles a week max. Like, that's still quite a bit.
If you're younger than high school, you probably shouldn't be running more than 10 miles a week.
You probably shouldn't. Yeah,
No.
you shouldn't be running more than a few times a week.
Yeah.
You should run like maybe 3 times.
It's like
a
that
week
whole
if you
thing with
want.
like kids like weightlifting. Like it's just not good for your body, like for your joints.
Yeah,
like when
like,
you're that young.
You can
like
look ripped when you're 12, but
Right.
then when you're 30 and you need a hip replacement,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
sucks to suck. Like,
Yeah.
and it sucks because those kids, it's their parents and the people around them that are pushing them to do that, and they don't know any better, obviously. And we could be saying this, they're not going to listen. They're getting results. People are, they think it's good for them because
Right.
traditionally it is. And I think that's really the tricky part, and you just have to know like what your body responds well to. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that's that's what you got to figure out in high school, because it takes years.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And also, as you said, like again, just like as on principle, like high schoolers just don't need to be doing that much mileage because it's not like we're running 8Ks, 10Ks. Like
And
we're
you
just
don't- you
we're
just
just
don't have
not
the time.
going that high. Yeah, we just don't have. It's not
To-
even
to
the
recover
time.
properly.
Can recover properly. Like, and plus, we're not racing those upper echelon type distances like college runners might be. Like we started this year, so I
Yeah,
think
just
it's
for like
different.
for instance, like I recently I haven't been like killing myself like running wise. I've been running, biking every other day. I'm really not burning myself out at all. Maybe doing like 20 miles a week, like in total, with and then plus biking. And I feel like right now I could run at least like 4:45. Like it's not. I feel like I'm in shape.
Yeah.
Maybe doing a 12-mile long run might be hard because I'm not used to running, but that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't run a mile.
Right.
Just because
Yeah.
you can't do a 15-mile long run,
Yeah, no, exactly.
And I think that's where you really gotta take that in consideration. You don't need nutty endurance to run a mile or an 800.
No, you
need
don't.
Solid endurance, but you need speed endurance. That's what's more important. Those workouts, those quality days are what's going to get you there, you know?
I think strength, because
Yeah.
just being able to hold like speed endurance, I guess that's sort of,
Pretty much it's kind of strength.
kind of the same
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Just being able to hold those threshold paces for like over threshold
Yeah.
paces for longer and longer.
Definitely.
That's kind of the thing that you want to do. And I guess, preseason in that base period, you might be doing a fartlek here and there, a tempo here and there. But really, once you get past that and you get into the threshold kind of, I guess, 4 to 6 week time frame, that's kind of what's going to get you better at the mile or whatever event you're
Yeah,
doing.
because that's the actual like system that you're working at during the actual race, because
Yeah.
like all those base miles are good for like building fitness, but like you're not actually tapping into a lot of that during your race, like you said.
Yeah.
It's more of that threshold, more of that like VO2 max kind of like activation. So
Basically, the way I think of the base running is more like maintenance running. And easy running is more like maintenance running because
Right.
it's those base miles and that base aerobic gain that you're getting that's going to allow you to do the threshold workouts. And the threshold workouts is what's going to allow you to run a faster race.
right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
I
the
agree.
recovery in between those threshold workouts will allow you to keep on doing them.
Exactly.
And again, I think a lot of this mileage talk comes from like what people are comfortable with for their like maintenance kind of like fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like cross training, as I said, it honestly can replace like an easy run sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And I think runners in general, like I feel like the general consensus is like more miles are better, and like maybe not cross train as much, but like you just do your easy runs easy, which is true in a lot of ways. But also I feel like runners in general should be more comfortable with the fact that cross training can actually be really good and healthy. So
I think people are not confident in their fitness. I think that like people think that like I take a day off, I'm out of shape after that, right?
Yeah.
Like no, you're not actually.
right.
And that's something I've actually recently learned, like, because I always thought like I take 2 days off, I feel like I lost like a week of fitness.
Yeah.
Which you might feel that way for the first run after taking 2 days off, but like after that, it's all comes back to you.
Right.
And like really, you have to trust yourself that like cross training, while it's not the same as running, you're going to maintain your. I know that like biking isn't as aerobically tiring, really, like on your lungs. Like it can be.
Yeah, it can definitely can.
You're probably
be, yeah.
going too hard if you're breathing heavy on a maintenance day though.
Yeah,
biking.
yeah. Mhm.
But just because you're not working your like aerobic system the exact same way doesn't mean that it's not great recovery.
Right.
And honestly, I think that locking down on the days, like really paying attention to your paces and like not going too hard or too easy on your workout days, and then fucking around on your maintenance days. You could have fun those days.
I mean, that's what maintenance is. It's literally just maintaining your fitness, not necessarily like you have to like add on every day. It's just like this is like recovery. The purpose and function of these days are recovery and to just I guess slightly develop the fitness you already have, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
We've kind of been talking in circles here for the high school topic a little bit. but-
you just said that fuck around on your maintenance days. I will never fuck around on a maintenance day again because I almost broke
Oh
my
my
foot.
God.
By
fucking
fuck
around on a
around, I
maintenance
mean
day.
like I don't know.
Don't do that.
Build a tree house like the Nicholson brothers did.
Don't ruin your senior year season by playing manhunt in the woods and tripping on a branch.
But this is a good way to segue into the benefit of going on the bike
Okay.
because then I spent months on a bike and then I ran 4:22 in a mile.
There you go.
I still have no idea how he did that, guys. That's pretty incredible.
Honestly, I think
I do know how he
think
did that.
biking and swimming is it's really
Yeah.
like undervalued. Like especially since like
This is
his muscles
you're
were
looking at a
fresh.
living like case example of like cross training working in action
his
right here.
his running muscles, like whatever combination of muscles you use in your legs
Yeah.
and back and core, while they weren't being worked in the same way, they were fresh like for running. I don't really know how to explain it. Like
They were fresh. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
like,
absolutely
like
right.
when you go for a run, you don't feel like I just did this for 46 days in a row before this, and I'm tired of doing it. You're like, I did this like 3 weeks ago, and I want to get back into it.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Actually, especially for races, like that's why like when you're like peaking, right? Like you try to like reduce your mile. You're trying to run actually less, right? So your body feels more fresh. And I feel like cross training can definitely have that function sometimes because like true, like you're not exercising the same muscles like while you're running, but also like you're not exercising the same muscles while you're running, so they're fresher, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
that is a
kind
good
of
thing,
the
yeah.
point. And you're still working the muscles around them, and you're
Exactly.
working some of the same muscles just in a different
way.
way.
Exactly. So
Yeah, because I mean, you're not gonna go to the gym, and you're not gonna go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week and do legs every day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of why like you had such a great season. I feel like because like I just feel like every race like you'd look so like alive and like I feel like did you feel pretty good that season? Like you seemed like you were killing it every race.
I mean, listen, I think that was my best season ever.
I think it
You
was.
You looked like ready. Like you didn't.
Yes.
You didn't look like sluggish.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
like
like literally
you used to
every
look sluggish.
yeah
sometimes,
almost every
which
single
everyone
race
does.
was like sometimes not always a PR, but like just you just do something crazy every time you step on the track. And I think the point I'm trying to get at is we can attribute a lot of this to cross training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because not only did biking, it's resistance exercise. Running, I wouldn't say it's resistance exercise.
No, absolutely
No,
not.
it's
You're
not.
putting a lot of pressure on
Exactly.
everything.
But biking is literally it's resistance exercise. You know, you're pushing against kind of your own body weight, gravity. You know, going up
Mhm.
hills. You know, the resistance of the pedals.
Yeah.
And that is kind of similar. I would assume it's similar to lifting weights. You know, lightweight.
I
but
think
high
it's
reps.
comparable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
That's kind of how I actually skipped. I did leg day today instead of yesterday because I had a hard bike and I was like, this is the same kind of burn I get. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I work the same way.
Right.
It's like a resistance workout, you
Yeah.
know. But I think we should start and get into college. 'cause
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
a whole different beast.
Right,
It is.
Like,
but
you
can I just
can't-
add one last thing?
Yeah, of course. This has
And-
been a good segue into cross training. I like this.
Yeah. It's not even about cross training or high school in general. It's just about mileage in general.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier today, I was at a PT appointment at True Sport Care, and I was talking to my doctor, and he said that since like the 2000s to like early 2000s to right now, we've seen the weekly mileage of runners has started to drop, but the long run has stayed the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
Interesting.
if they're training for a marathon, they'll go out there do the 17 to 20 mile long run, and I'm basically quoting him here. But you know the rest of the week, you know maybe you're only doing 6 to 7, 8 mile runs.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's like what Robbie was doing. I mean,
Yeah.
Robbie was doing 6-7 mile days with like 1 or 2 workouts. This is just from what he's told me of it, like
Yeah.
an example of his week, plus a 17-mile long run.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's like 30% of your mileage. And honestly, it's actually a long run doesn't just have to be like 20%. It could be 20 to 33% of your week, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to. I don't necessarily know if it depends on the person there. It might depend on like what level of training you're at, but I think
All of it.
yeah,
All of it. You know.
Yeah. Also, like, just to add on to what you were saying before we go into college thing, like, I feel like there's also like a pretty general consensus, like, outside of the running world, like, looking into running, it's kind of like, it's this perspective of like, oh, like running like kills your body and your joints after a while, like, which I feel like has been true in the past because of one, like a lack of shoe technology, right? I think we can agree with that. And just like I just feel like there was just a fundamental like misunderstanding of mileage. I feel like at least in like maybe the 80s, 90s. I'm not exactly sure when, but like I feel like that's why a lot of old people nowadays have like that were runners have a lot of issues, is because like again like lack of shoe technology, like knowledge about cross training was insufficient, and just honestly just training too high mileage. So I'm not like at first I was surprised that like mileage is lower. That's interesting, but like I feel like that kind of makes sense because I feel like in general like people are realizing like you don't really need that much mileage, like depending on the person obviously, but just in general like it's a lot safer and more sustainable to maybe do just less.
So
you know?
if we had to like break this down into like bullet points, like what would we say? Like 20 to 33% of your mileage should be the long run.
Yep.
I would say 30 maybe.
Maybe
like
it's a little bit much.
Yeah.
I think 30 is a bit much. I think I like 25. That's what I've been doing.
20 to
say
25, yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 to 25% of your weekly
Also,
mileage should be long
get
run.
shoes every 3 months. I
Yes.
did not do that. I
Yep.
still don't do that. But get shoes every 3
Get
months.
shoes.
Actually.
Don't be afraid of cross training. This is so huge. Like you can use it to replace miles. Again, it depends on the runner. If you are comfortable with training that higher mileage, like we know Robbie is that his body just responds perfectly to that. Yeah, don't be afraid of cross training and
don't let your ambition outweigh, I guess,
what you're capable of.
And also I think paying attention really to your quality days. Like your quality days should be quality. Like don't go too hard, don't go too easy. You have to get a good feel for how those are supposed to feel.
Yeah.
And your quality days, I mean your recovery days are your recovery days. Don't go too fast. Have fun on those days.
Don't break your foot.
Don't break your foot.
Yeah,
And
so number
cross-train
5
if you need to.
Yeah, number 5, just listen to your body.
Yeah.
Again, like in high school, like as we said, like it's just a learning learning curve for sure. But college running.
College is a bit
College
different.
is a little different. Because you're running, that's when you start, okay, so we're not messing around with the 5K anymore. We're not doing 4Ks, 5Ks. We're doing 8K, 10K type thing. So that's
And
a whole.
You're also like low-key a pro runner at this point. Like
I
you
got
pretty much.
mixed feelings about the college kind of
You
training.
have something like in your eye, like, yeah, it's out now. But
It's out.
yeah.
I have very mixed feelings about this because I'll fight with my mom all the time. She's like, Anthony, you got to take an off day. You got to take an off day. I'm like, Mom,
That's what my dad
I'm not taking an off day.
Yeah.
I
This is
can't
like
do
kind of
it."
like your job, honestly. Like,
Kinda,
yeah.
Like, I mean, recently, in the past couple weeks, I have listened to my body a little bit. You know, because I've been having a shin problem, an arch problem, so I've kind of not wanted those to get worse. But if you're healthy, if you're currently running healthy, I would say in college, off days are less important, and easy days are more important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, I think what he
Yeah.
means is like an easy day is almost better for recovery than taking an off day completely. Because I feel like shit after an off day. Honestly.
Okay, yeah. So to expand on that a little bit, so it was off days are less important and easy days are more important. So yeah, in college, everybody, and I mean at least at the level of, in my experience at the level of Big Ten and trying to run at the D1 level, everybody is trying to get, just as fast as you can go.
Right.
Like your ambition, like there is no outweighing your ambition. Like your ambition is kind of what you're capable
Right.
of. I from my experience.
Again, because it's like you kind of like you have that knowledge from high school and you have more of the resources and again time in college, like because you can really manage your schedule and and work around. You're more in control, and I think again, like as I said, like you just have more resources to just like to really push to that limit of physical and like mental capability. I feel like.
So here, before I continue, do we want to talk about this from the point of view of someone running on a college team or someone running like how we did last year?
I think
I want to hear the college team one, honestly.
Yeah,
I guess we could go in a little bit of both.
I mean,
we
yeah,
can
'cause
talk about that side, and then
I
you
think
can
it's
talk
both.
about.
Yeah, because either way, you have to sort of do the same thing.
A little bit.
It's a little different because like when you're training yourself, you are not a coach. Like, you don't know what you're doing, and you really
you can kind of get in your own head about that.
Yeah, you can get in your own head, and you might stay with like the 40, 50 miles because you're comfortable with that. That's what I did, and that's what Anthony kind of did too.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
And that's not necessarily
it works.
bad.
Like,
You could still get places, but I think if you really want to get to like that high D1 level, you have to kind of sell yourself and just go all in.
Yeah.
Like.
So, just to finish the thought I had before, because that's all 100% true. From the perspective, and I don't have this yet, but this is kind of what I'm assuming, I guess. But from the perspective of someone on the team, I would assume that every single person, no matter the team environment, is trying to make NCAAs, is trying to make regionals, whatever meet comes next that you have to qualify for.
I'd feel like that's a pretty honestly.
So,
because if you're not as your brother was saying, like if you're really not like aiming for that highest like level of like achievement, then what are you doing there? Yeah.
So the mentality is, I would assume that okay, I'm gonna take today off, but you're gonna train today. That means you're gonna do better than me, and even if it's just an easy run, because if you're running 70 miles a week, a 4-mile run 5-mile easy day, that's nothing. You know what I mean? That's nothing.
Yeah.
So doing that at a 7:30, because most of your college runs are probably gonna be around
7:30.
like, I would say they'd probably be around like 6:50 pace.
Yeah, I mean Robbie's D3, but he was his like long runs are usually around like 7:15, 7:10.
Okay. Yeah. So
that makes
a lot of your
sense.
runs are in that, like, you know, I would say
Like you're not messing around type pace.
yeah, like you're not going for a jog. You know what I mean? You're going for a run.
But you're also not like
You're also not killing
You
yourself.
can talk.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can talk
right.
at 7:10 pace
Yeah.
if you're.
But
like,
I just think that level has moved up since like you're just a better runner at
Yeah,
that stage.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it should move up because
Yeah,
you're trying to achieve more.
Yeah.
And I think you have to take those days more serious, being that you're really, because if it wasn't obvious, you kind of do have. You do have to have high mileage in college. Like, let's just start with that. And because you have to have that, you have to take those recovery days more serious.
Exactly. And you have to take those recovery days more serious. But, you know, if you're taking an off day, that's a day where you're letting lactic acid sit in your legs. You're not stretching your muscles. You're not getting them warmed up.
Yeah.
You know, all of that are the benefits of easy days. And then if you instead take the easy day, you know, you are warming up. You're stretching everything. You know, if you're healthy and you're kind of like getting things moving, it's really just a way to have maintenance. You know what I mean? And without maintenance, things start to fall apart.
I think like the thing is with the college running, I obviously I'm not speaking from experience, but I feel like every day you have to wake up and you have to be like, I have a goal for today, and I need to lock in for my run. I need to really, like, your day has to almost be about running. It can't be like, oh, I'm gonna sit around and play video games today and eat ice cream and just chill, and I won't think about running at all.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna think about running every day, and you have to.
Right, and that spills into like your nutrition, your sleep, like everything. Yeah.
Everything you're doing has to be focused on recovery and becoming a better runner. You know, you really do. Unfortunately, and that's
And again, that's not for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the harsh reality of being a D1 runner.
That's
And
the
I think
sacrifice
scares
you
a
have
lot
to
of
make.
people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that either. It is so much. It's such a commitment, especially running. I
Yes.
honestly think running. I think running. I argue with my brother about this all the time. Wrestling is a crazy sport. It's really hard.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think running's harder.
Really?
Absolutely. 'Cause
Interesting.
running is mentally tougher. I think. I
Mhm.
really do think that,
Well,
and I think that
training or competing?
competing, training.
I would think wrestling is harder.
The training for wrestling is probably harder.
Yeah.
But I also
You just
think,
casually break a bone in practice, you know?
well, no, then you're out for a season.
Yeah.
But yeah. But like I think that running, everything you do has to literally be funneled into recovery, because you are breaking your muscles every day.
Yeah.
You are literally pushing your body to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
While wrestling is similar, but it's more technique based. So you don't have to focus as much on recovery. You could take an ice bath and eat a banana and you're good.
Yeah.
You know, running is different in that sense, and I think you have to be really meticulous about how you do everything, and that's what makes it harder.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have the debate of like which sport's harder. I'm not necessarily making a claim. That's just what I believe. I'm not going to argue that right now, but partially because I'm a runner and I did wrestle too.
Yeah.
But you know, it takes so much focus every day, and I think the focus every single day, 24 hours a day, is the biggest difference between a college and a high school runner.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
mileage.
Yeah, and I think like the unique thing about why I love like track and cross country is like at the end of the day like it's a racing sport. It's like it's really like the fullest capability of what you're able to do, like unlike any other sport where it's like a team or like even combat sports, like you're still pushing yourself, but it's like
more technique based.
right.
Though.
It's literally like everything you have over a distance or a certain period of time, and then like you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why people like drop dead at the end of races, because they literally just have nothing left in them. Like I've done that many times. Like it's just like no other sport I really feel like taps into that just like maximum like threshold of like ability. You know what I'm saying?
Except for other endurance sports.
Exactly, right?
Because because that's really what I find like beautiful about them is that you are actually killing yourself.
Right.
Like you are just putting it all out there, and that's it. Like there's nothing more to it.
I'd compare it to like race car driving in a way. Like maybe you're not pushing your personal body, but like you're pushing like a car to its absolute limit. But instead of like
not crashing and dying,
right, exactly, not crashing and dying is the fear. But yeah, instead like our cars, like our bodies, and we're pushing that to the limit. But what were we talking about? College? Yeah, I don't know. We just got into a whole like side note about how like track is cool and unique in the fact that it's just everything, you know.
Ultimately, I would say because none of us have been, we're just getting into the college process of running. You know, whether that be club or team, whatever avenue of college running we're going down. The number one thing, because you are amping up training, is recovery. I don't have too much more like knowledge, like because you trust your college athlete. If you have coaches, you trust your coaches because most likely, if you're on a team, you sought out those coaches. You know what I mean? You joined because of those coaches. Most likely, maybe not, whatever. But you know, with that comes like, you know, maybe I did that because I trust this person. You know, I like what they had to offer. You know, the team might be really well. So college coaches, they know what they're doing. So it's about trusting them to give you the best kind of training.
Yeah.
And it's on you to actually get the recovery in.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's the unfortunate truth that you're going to be pushing your body harder in college than you were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But since you're a more seasoned runner at that point, you can do that. And like you really just recovery, I think, is just the number one thing that
for college
really got to pay attention to because you can't burn out in college.
I think this is a topic I want to revisit, like maybe around winter or spring when you go to Maryland and like you experience like the actual like the dynamics of the team and the coach and the school and like juggling all of that. Like I know you did that at Penn State this year, but again, like it's different since you're like actually on the team this time. So definitely want to revisit that like in the winter maybe. So yeah.
Definitely.
Hobby running though, I think this is something that is so difficult to talk about. Because I actually trained my sister recently. And she'll say it wasn't my fault, but I definitely got her injured.
God.
And I wasn't having to do crazy mileage. I had her doing like 15 miles a week, taking like 2 off days.
What was she training for?
She was training for a half marathon, which we didn't end up doing, which sucks. But we'll end up doing something this summer, I'm sure. But you really, like, let's be honest, if you're a hobby runner, not everyone is made for running. Like
this is just an undeniable fact.
Yeah, that's an undeniable fact. Like we are lucky enough to just kind of have that frame where, you know, when we hopped into running, we can run 20 miles a week and we will not collapse and die. You know.
Although I will say it is still capable for most people to get into a place where they can be a runner.
You could still be a great runner and not have that body, but you have to be careful with how you go about things.
Yeah, training has to be a lot more like delicate.
You could have bad knees.
Yeah.
You could have sensitive hips. You could just naturally have a very weak muscle somewhere in your legs, and when you're running, you're overcompensating somewhere, and you'll get injured.
Right.
That's actually what happened with my sister, I think.
Interesting.
But I think it's very, very situational, and those are some of the hardest people to train because they also don't have any experience necessarily of like they don't know how hard they should be pushing themselves on an easy run. They don't know how hard they should be pushing themselves on a tempo run. There's no experience whatsoever.
I think though for a hobby runner and someone that's just starting out, it's like, is there such thing as an easy run?
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
I think that's something I learned the hard way because I had her running 5 days a week. And doing like she had like a 3.5 mile long run like her first week or something like that.
Okay.
But
like that's hard. Like getting into that is hard.
But like doing 3.5 mile long run like for us that's not even a recovery day. But for other people, people hear me say I ran 10 miles for like that's like a short or long run. They're like, you could run 10 miles like yeah, but not everyone can run even a mile.
Exactly. It's just different.
Yeah. And that ends up, you know, you're doing 15 miles a week. That absolutely destroys your joints.
Yeah.
When you're just not acclimated to that and you don't necessarily have that body type.
And also just like hobby jogging is just like completely different goals. Like whereas in like high school, like you're discovering yourself, you have that ambition to like maybe run in college, and then in college, like it's like you're really focused. Like hobby jogging is kind of like, I feel like there's pretty much 2 main goals I see that hobby joggers have. It's either you're training for like a local race, like a 5K, 10K, half marathon, like you said, or like just to live a more active and healthy lifestyle, or maybe to lose weight, like
Yeah.
some goal to like that running is going to like achieve, not necessarily like to like push yourself to the max.
You're
know?
not trying to run 4:30 miles.
Right.
You're trying to
Exactly.
run a 4:30 miles so that you are skinnier or you feel
Yes,
in shape.
you just feel better about yourself. So I think when you're approaching like hobby jogging training, it's got to be a lot more from the context of like we were just talking about, like ironically we were just talking about pushing your body to the max, but like it's not really about that. It's more of like not pushing your body to the max, but pushing your body to like slightly out of your comfort zone to achieve a certain goal. You know what I'm saying? So
And
yeah.
I think the way that like I would approach this, just from having a little bit more wisdom now that I've got my sister injured, would be to honestly, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, just go for like 2 or 3 runs a week. And
Yeah.
Just feel it out. Go for however long you feel like, and just get your body used to running every now and then. Because if you're not used to it at all, like you're gonna get injured. And I really think that it's crucial just to like I was telling my parents are trying to get into working out a little bit, and I'm telling them like literally for the first like 2 weeks, literally do like one workout maybe and stretch and walk, and walk. Just get your body ready for training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't just hop right into it because
Right.
You will get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like for us, like what we like start off with is like 3-4 mile runs, but like what hobby joggers have to start off with is literally like I feel like walking, literally walking,
doing
maybe
1
doing
mile runs a week.
yeah,
or something.
exactly, right.
Well,
So it's a lot like less.
I mean, yeah, as a freshman in high school, I mean, I have that summer training on a bulletin board in my room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was 2 miles on the first run.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
exactly.
That's true.
And that's for freshman kids who are kind of built to run, and you honestly won't get hurt as easily as a kid because you're kind of just built
You're
different.
growing.
Yeah,
You jump off a 2-story building.
Yeah,
and you're just like,
you have
screw it,
you're a
let's
cat
go
with
again.
9 lives.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You're-
You think you're invincible?
I did have you said like do the thing where you prepare your body to run, and I just wanted to add on to that because one way that I wanted to add a way to do that. So a way that commonly runners can do that, or people trying to prepare their bodies to run can do that, is by basically go out, walk 2 minutes, run 10 seconds, walk 2 minutes, run 10 seconds, walk 2 minutes, run 10 seconds. Do that as many times as you want, whatever you can do. And then, maybe a week later or like a couple days later, walk 2 minutes, run 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Walk 2 minutes, run 20 seconds. 30, 40, 50, whatever you want to jump on. But then, once you get into the part where you can run a little bit longer, and let's say you're at 2 minutes walking, 2 minutes running, maybe do 3 minutes walking, 2 minutes running, or 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking, and slowly increasing the amount of time you're running, and then slowly decreasing the amount of time you're walking, just building your body into the all right. We know what this feels like. We have the sort of endurance, longevity, like built now, and we can do this.
Yeah.
You might have to do it at a 10, 11-minute pace, but as long as one foot is on the ground, you're in the air at some point, you're running.
And I kind of like that idea too, because like the way like I know like in like gym people, like they have this whole thing where it's like in order to build muscle you kind of have to like surprise muscle in a way. So I feel like I like those little like 10-second bursts where it can be like maybe not a sprint or something, but like you're kind of like
You're running.
yeah, you're running, like you're
not-
shocking
you're
your
not going 10
right,
pace,
like you're shocking your body, but you're also like slowly like introducing running to like your muscles and your aerobic system. So I like that, mixing in the walking and the running. That's where did you just like think of that, or was
I
that
was looking. Actually, no. I should say where I got that from.
yeah,
I was
cite your
looking on,
sources.
I was looking on the Revolution Running website. It's another PT place.
Mhm.
And I was like looking through some of their like I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was like a how to start running, or I don't know. It was like something like that. But it was like I was looking through all that, and it was just like you're starting out, you're barely running, you're walking a lot, and then it just like it slowly is changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a good job.
Also, a side note, like you were talking about PT places, like if any of you guys have questions about PT and like in our local area, I think we went to like literally within a 10 to 15 mile radius, we've been to like every PT place. Like,
Pretty much.
like between all of us, like I'm pretty sure we went to like every single one. So, yeah.
And here we are giving advice that recovery is like the most important thing. It is the most.
It is the
important
most
thing.
Well,
important
that's why
thing.
we know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, do not be afraid to seek out physical therapy. Also, just regular therapy if you're struggling out there. Anyways,
just to like add on though to like getting your body prepared for running.
yeah.
This isn't something I've actually done for anyone, but like I think like I mean cross training. I think preparing with that, like aqua jogging in particular, I feel like it's working similar muscles and it's getting your body used to the feeling of moving your legs, kind of like running, but it's not putting any pressure in your joints.
For people who don't know what aqua jogging is, it's like you have like this little like belt thing. It kind of like suspends. You have to like buy it on Amazon or whatever.
It's
It
like
suspends.
$15, yeah.
Right. It suspends you in water, and you kind of just like move your legs in a similar jogging motion that you are
kinda-
when you're running, but you're
literally
not.
are running in
Right.
water like that, or
Yeah.
you can run in if you have like a really big shallow end and you have like shoes that could stick to the ground.
Yeah,
somehow.
or
I
something
think-
like
I think
that,
Caleb,
yeah.
I think Caleb did that. He like Caleb Wheeler was a runner at War Melville. When he was injured, he had like whatever. He had like a cyst pop on his knee or
Yeah.
something. Like
I remember him
messed
telling
up.
us about this actually.
Yeah, and I think he aqua jogged a lot actually. I could be
His
wrong.
version of aqua. That's what I used to think
Yeah.
aqua jogging was,
Yeah,
like
he-
literally like running on
But
like the actual
that is
surface.
that is what it is actually. But it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because you need like shoes. You need to have a big shallow end. Or
Okay.
you need to be running on a beach.
Right.
Like, and you look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, I think that would be a great thing to do. I'm kind of just talking my ass here because I don't know if that actually works, but I
Mhm.
would assume that works the same. It does work the same kind of muscles, and it gets you used to that.
I
sort of
mean,
feeling.
it's similar to the bike. It's resistance.
Yeah,
And,
it's
like
Yeah.
almost no impact with resistance. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Except you have to do it for like an hour to really get a workout. But
Also, water's just like super like good for your muscles too.
Yeah, it's-
Like it's like super therapeutic and like your muscles are just way more relaxed, like in like submerged in water.
exactly, yeah.
So yeah.
So can we make any like bullet points for?
For hobby jogging,
Yeah.
Get
I
your body
think-
ready for running. I
Yes.
think is one.
Mhm.
Like you can't just hop into training when you're
right?
Don't
when
be
you're running
afraid
for the
to
first
walk.
time.
Yeah. So
Don't
get,
be afraid to walk.
yeah, get your body ready for running by slowly easing into it. Don't be afraid to walk. What else?
I mean, cross train if you can.
That's
Yeah.
kind of
sometimes.
for every level.
Yeah, I think for any level, like cross train if you can, especially at this level. I think just to give your body a break from running.
Yeah, especially at this level
Also,
because you're adjusting.
Don't run every day.
Oh, yeah, that's a big
absolutely don't. Like if you're just doing it like to just be in shape, you don't need to run every day.
Mhm.
And
No.
you don't even need to run 6 days a week. I think 5 days a week is more than
Exactly.
enough if you're a hobby jogger.
And
Probably
also,
less if you're
I would say number 5, just like identify your goals. Like, what are you working towards? You know, like, do you
Yeah.
want to lose weight? Do you want to like train for a 5K? And then with that, with you knowing your goals, I feel like you can kind of like adjust to what you want to do from there. You know,
hot
Yeah.
take though. I think running is not great for losing weight.
really,
I actually
that's a whole other side topic we could go into.
totally don't think it's that great for losing weight. because
Interesting.
I think if you want to lose weight, you should hop on a bike because
Yes.
you're not going to get
You
injured.
hop on a bike.
Yeah,
Really.
Absolutely. You hop on a bike.
spin
you,
class.
You lift. You do core.
Could sweat your ass
You
off
do
in spin
core.
class.
You're just gonna feel. I feel better about myself every single time I do cores because I'm like, it's a little tighter.
Yeah,
than
that's
before.
facts.
pump.
That's
yeah,
facts.
I feel a little bit of a
the
pump.
core pump is
I'm not
crazy.
fat, even though I am.
Yeah.
You know, just like.
It's just getting on the mat to do core for me personally. I'm just like, oh god. But like once you're done with it, it's like, yeah.
You have like PTSD.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, yeah, I'm jacked again.
I have PTSD. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Oh god.
But I mean, yeah, that I could actually we can maybe put that into like another podcast.
That could be
actually,
another
like, 'cause,
podcast,
Like,
like,
losing. A lot of
What's the
people-
best way to lose weight?
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily. I mean, I actually know a little bit about that just because wrestling. But
Yeah. Or just like, is running good for you? Like,
Well, that's yeah. Okay. No, I'm not even gonna go.
we're not gonna go
Okay,
there.
yeah,
That's a topic for another
that's
time.
actually,
Yeah.
that's a different topic. That's a good one actually.
But
But one of the things for hobby jogging, I know we did some bullet points there, was if your goal is to lose weight, have you guys ever heard the expression exercise is medicine?
yes.
Okay, so that's a whole like debated thing. Some people agree with it. Some people are like, no, exercise should not be medicine. But my belief is that exercise as a way of reducing cardiovascular disease is medicine because
Yeah.
what other way are you going to try and reduce risk of cardiovascular disease?
Eat less cholesterol.
Yeah,
but also
running-
you could eat more cholesterol if you run.
Yeah.
So
well, it's also kind of like what
Kind of.
type of cholesterol are you eating?
yeah, your diet. I think your diet is a big part of like cardiovascular stuff, but also
Yeah.
like if you're just kind of like a lazy dude doing nothing all day, and even if you're not eating a ton of cholesterol
after bacon.
yeah, like you're gonna have problem. Like I know plenty of like older people, like even like my dad.
Yeah.
Like you eat like shit, you don't move your body, like
You're gonna have
you're
problems.
fucked.
Yeah.
Like you gotta.
Yeah.
And I think developing a lifestyle where you are working out and you could eat like shit if you want to.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Honestly, I think you could eat. You don't. Diet is not that crucial. If you're, I think it's crucial, but I think that if you work, I think working out is the first and most important step, because I think working out leads you to eating healthier.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
And I think working out is it's a lot more gratifying than eating a healthy meal. Because after I work out, I'm like, yes, I just worked out. I got an endorphin rush. After I eat a healthy meal, I'm like, that tasted like shit,
Yeah.
but I'm full.
There's also kind of two sides of it, though, because, I think for the average overweight person, I would agree with that. But if you have, like, a binge eating disorder or something,
Yeah.
then you got to tackle that before you exercise.
Yeah, that's a whole other monster.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I don't have personal experience. I know other people that do, but yeah, I'm not gonna really.
Just to go off what you were saying before about like how like running is medicine, you talked about like the physical side of it. I feel like also equally like the mental side of it is very true. Like, like it's literally proven that like when you run or work out, like it releases dopamine. Like you just you genuinely feel better because it just releases certain hormones that like allow you to just be happier and healthier and all that. So I think running is also medicine in a mental way. And like working out, as I said, and it's also like that paradox of like a lot of people hate running and working out because it's painful, right? But I feel like introducing yourself to that pain is weirdly enough gonna make you happier and feel better, which is interesting.
Well, okay.
So that's the
also another
paradox
hot
of
take.
that. Yeah.
Running shouldn't be painful, like on your lungs.
Yeah, I wouldn't say painful. I would say like just
depends.
especially when you're started. Yeah, when you're
Depends on the
starting
run.
off. Yeah.
Depends on like what you're
Yeah.
doing, but yeah, if you're doing an easy day, you shouldn't.
Right.
Exactly.
I was talking more about from the context of like when you're just getting back in, like when you're starting things.
Yeah,
Cause like
when you're at our level.
Yeah, once
like,
you get into a flow, it's
if
completely
you're
different.
doing an 8-mile run, your lungs shouldn't be hurting. But
Right,
if
right.
If you're some like random person who's never run before and you're doing a 5-mile run, like
You're-
they should probably be hurting.
Yeah.
Can I add on to that? Because yes, it will hurt, and yes, it's supposed to hurt then.
But it shouldn't be for long term.
Yeah, like what I mean is, the reason it hurts is because you're not healthy enough. Like your body's not adapted to that. So that's a huge stress. You know what I mean? Whereas if you get to a point where that's no longer a huge stress, it's not as painful.
It's like that graph you drew in your room. Like it should suck for a little bit, but it shouldn't suck forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that. And I think running and working out, you also have to have the wisdom to like consider things from like a longer like perspective. Like as I said, like it's gonna suck for now, but if you are really committed to trying and making yourself healthier, like you have to be super, super patient, And I think getting to that stage where it's like, what was our old slogan? Like getting in shape is hard, but like being in shape is like awesome or something.
I think it's still in the answer. Let's check.
This is literally our slogan. Like we're getting to the core of like what Head Start running really is here, and I think it's like we're kind of talking around that subject.
Getting in shape is hard. Being in shape is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's always the first steps which are the hardest. But you have to again have that perspective that it's not going to suck forever.
And I think like I guess sort of to like wrap it up, like the easiest way to like get into working out if you're not that kind of person is like get people to do it with you. You know, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Like because you can enjoy it with them. I mean, or you could suffer with them. And that is like the biggest difference between like getting into shape and not getting in shape is having people around you that are like doing the same thing,
100%,
doing it with you.
Because we know how hard it's been to do this alone for this past year.
And we're used to doing it.
Yeah.
Like recently, I just started like lifting and stuff, and it's been a lot easier to go to the gym and stuff because my brother's doing it, and his friend's here right now, Sam. It's so much easier to like,
right.
To go to the gym because they're doing it, and I see that they're in shape, and you can be like that.
Yeah.
Working
Definitely.
out with partners is it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And after you can get bango bulls and have sex.
Yeah.
Did you just say sorry?
Don't worry about it.
And like as we said in like previous podcasts, like that's why I think like being a part of a team is just gonna make you just so much better. Because like fundamentally, as people, like doing things together, like having a shared purpose is always
More
like
meaningful.
is always more meaningful than having like an individual purpose.
Yeah.
Like which is it's just true. Like it just is. Like that's just how it is. And yeah, so I don't know.
All right, let's just to wrap everything up.
Yeah.
Let's go over. Let's bullet everything for like high school, college, and hobby. It's gonna be kind of hard to remember. 'cause-
Oh God, do I remember?
Okay, so for high school,
High school, it's like
Pro-
listen to your body, like discover yourself, right?
Yeah.
like listen,
like-
discover yourself. Meaning, don't let ambition
outweigh.
Outweigh what you're actually capable of.
Mhm.
2, don't be afraid of cross training. I think we said
Make your quality days quality.
make your quality days
and
quality.
Your recovery days, enjoy them.
Yes.
Don't.
They're all before, so I mean, we
Didn't we
don't
say,
have to
like-
get all. of them.
Didn't we
Didn't
say
we
like
say,
have fun or something like that? No, I don't think we said
Yeah,
that.
I guess we can add it.
We could
though.
add
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yes.
have
Have
fun.
fun in high school,
Have fun.
guys. Like seriously.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
I think we specified like 30 to like. Oh wait, long runs.
Oh, yeah.
20 yeah, 20 to 25% of your weekly mileage
And
in
they
high
shouldn't be
school.
fast.
Yeah.
Is your? Oh wait, no, it's not going.
Oh. It's fine. It's fine. We could just I think it's going to be fine. Pretty sure.
Well, we're wrapping it up in like a minute.
Yeah.
Let's get it
So,
done with.
yeah.
And like, yeah, don't go crazy with mileage.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of goes hand in hand with listening to your body.
Right, right.
College.
College.
Go crazy with mileage.
Well,
I do what.
Be
emphasize
comfortable
recovery.
going crazy with mileage, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that?
Like you have to be comfortable with the fact that you have to be more serious about things. I
Yeah.
think that's where
Yeah,
I am.
recovery.
Recovery's
Gotta go
huge.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust your coaches.
Trust your coaches for sure.
Honestly, like you have to everything you do, like eating well, even like walking in different shoes.
Yeah.
Getting new shoes.
Yeah.
Just doing
Yeah.
everything right is important. in
Can I add
college.
one to college?
Yes.
Lift with the intention of injury prevention.
Oh.
That
Yeah, we didn't
rhymed.
talk about
That-
lifting
that-
that
we-
much.
Yeah, we
this-
didn't talk about lifting.
but
Maybe
yes.
that'll be a different topic.
That's a
for
that's a
another
different
day, 'cause
topic.
Okay, so college bullets.
Yeah.
It was injury prevention is like the recovery.
Recovery is
the
huge.
biggest thing.
Trust your coaches.
Trust your coach.
Lift with intention.
With intention of injury prevention.
Yes, and again, as we said, like lifting is something that we definitely want to talk about on another podcast, and that we didn't talk about enough here. But it's huge, especially in college, even for distance runners.
Everything you do has to be
Right.
with the intention of getting better.
Being
at
Right.
running
Yeah,
games.
I think it just in college you just have to take it a little bit more seriously and have a more like everything in your life is kind of like centered around making you better, I guess. Yeah.
And also, this is a thing we talked about last podcast, but stay competitive.
Yes.
Like,
huge.
that's huge.
Huge. Yeah.
But it's kind of easier said than done. But
Way easier said than done.
yeah,
If you want to learn more about that, go listen to last
Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah.
the last
Yes.
podcast.
Yes. Stay competitive for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right.
Again,
Hobby
so
jogging.
sorry we
Yeah.
transitioned to my phone. We're just
Yeah.
finishing our last
that.
bullet points for hobby jogging.
Okay, so hobby joggers, get your body ready for it, ease into it, with the walking, running. The second one was
Don't run every day. Just run a couple times a week. Like that's literally fine. At least when you're starting off. And I think I said identify your goals. Like, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to run a 5K? You want to run 10K? And then you can really structure your training in terms of your goals. And
I would also say, a lot of at Second Wind, a lot of people that come in for hobby joggers, that are hobby joggers. They come in, their shoes are the like 10 years old. I got these 10 years ago. They're like pretty good. They're comfortable. Meanwhile, there's like a hole in the sole.
get the right shoes, guys.
the
That's
right
number
shoes.
4. Get the right shoes.
That's injury prevention as well.
Injury prevention. Yep. And I think that was
Is that it?
wait, we're at 4. Yeah.
I think we
probably.
pretty much
slow.
tapped on it.
What?
Run slow.
Yeah, run
slow.
slow. Run at a comfortable pace. Like it's going to hurt.
Yeah. And again, as we were talking about,
get a partner.
yeah,
a
get up.
partner,
Yes,
get a partner
yes.
with someone.
Train with
Get a partner.
people. Train with people. And as we said, like hobby jogging is different from high school and college because it's not like you're focused on pushing yourself to the limit.
Yeah.
It's like you're focused on pushing yourself to a point where, as I said, it's out of your comfort zone, but it's like it's to achieve a certain goal, not
Yes.
to, push
Yeah.
your body to its max.
So does that conclude season 3?
Season 3,
Oh,
guys,
Season 3
if
is
you're
over.
watching right now, I love you. Okay, seriously. I don't know who's watching,
I
but
have no idea.
thank you so much
Yeah.
if you
Got a
tuned
little
in for
scuff
this
towards the
long.
end.
So wait, so 30 episodes.
That's 30
This is our
episodes.
30
episode,
podcasts, guys.
30
What are we going to do
podcasts.
when we get to 50?
Look at us. Who would have
50
thought?
OnlyFans.
Look at
OnlyFans
us.
once we get to 50.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Please.
Nah, I mean-
OnlyFans when we get to 50 episodes. Yeah, so
Only-
season 4
Yeah.
starts. Season 4 starts next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been real. It's been fun. And it has been real
It's been
fun.
real fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Getting in shape is hard. Being in shape is awesome.
I didn't.
3, 2,
One.
1.